Some people might have the impression that leadership is all about grand gestures, amazing speeches, and strategic master plans. But beneath the surface, it's constant daily habits that truly shape a leader's impact. These habits aren't about being perfect, they're about being intentional. So let's talk about some habits that I think represent how to be a great leader. And the first one is intentional listening. What? That's easy. I do that every day. It's just part of what I do every day. That's not a habit. Well, intentional listening is definitely a habit, and it is a deliberate action that requires quite a bit of practice to get it right. Now, I have talked about active listening more than once on my YouTube channel. I have a whole video about it, which is linked on your screen, but it's not just about hearing people. It's really about understanding that unspoken body language and emotion that is portrayed when people are talking, that if you are actively listening, you will pick up on. If you want to make intentional listening part of your leadership habits, you'll need to think about how you can incorporate this every day. There are ways to set the scene for active listening, such as removing distractions, turning off your phone, putting away your computer, and mentally shifting your mind to what the speaker is saying. Then you need to show them that you are listening. So you're maintaining eye contact, not in a weird way, just normal, demonstrating physical engagement with what they're saying by having open body language, such as leaning forward and not having your arms crossed, and engaging with what they're saying by asking considered questions throughout the conversation so that they know that you are actually listening. But even more importantly, you are getting the right information from what they are saying by ensuring that your questions clarify and repeat what they've said in your own words to ensure that you have understanding. Those non-verbal cues are pretty important too, such as nodding your head when you're agreeing with them or wanting them to continue, and being mindful of what you are projecting from your own body language, such as your facial cues or having your hands on your hips. They give quite a clear signal to people without you needing to say anything. It's also important to pay attention to the body language that they're providing you with. Are they nervous? Are they fidgeting? Are they looking away from you? All of these are some key signs that there's some underlying information there that you're probably going to want to understand. Active or intentional listening also requires you not to interrupt, to make sure that you're listening thoroughly and refraining from giving immediate advice. This is quite important. It's also important not to rush in and tell them what it is that you think that they should do. It's also important to try and understand their perspective, particularly if what they're saying is something that you don't agree with. Cultivate patience and don't rush to the conversation, or quickly try and give them an example of your own situation that's relatable, which is quite common. Active listening is a skill that requires conscious effort, but it rewards you by building trust, uncovering insights on things that you might not have known, which in turn will improve your decision making and boost morale because people feel heard. Really focus on how you can incorporate active listening into your leadership habits. So to make it a really consistent habit, think about how you can do this as a matter of practice throughout your day, not just at work, but in your personal life too. Believe me, actually hearing what your husband and children are telling you can be quite the breakthrough. Habit number 2 is consistent self-reflection. This is about actually taking the time to consider your actions, decisions, behaviors, strengths and weaknesses. This one is harder for me. I find reflection and actually stopping what I'm doing to consider my actions and my behaviors and what kind of impact I'm having as a leader as something that I actually need to intentionally schedule, but it definitely pays off. I have made it part of my leadership habits to do this every day. One of the ways that I incorporate it is in my drive home from work. I do a reflection on what I might have put off that day. So it's about thinking about what have I been procrastinating over? What didn't I start today that I knew that I really needed to? That could be signaling that either I'm stuck, I'm unsure of my next actions, or I just really don't like doing that particular thing. That gives me insight on what I need to focus on, not only for the next day, but if it keeps coming up, the same sort of thing, it could be giving me an underlying message about the things that I actually really need to concentrate on because I find them really hard. I then make a commitment to when I'm going to tackle these things. Sometimes this means I actually put it in my calendar so that I have time to do it. Other times I know this is just something I have to do first thing in the morning when I get to work. I also have space in my calendar on a Friday where I think about what's gone well that week and what maybe didn't go so well. This is a slightly different reflection from what I do on my way home from work, which is more about what am I putting off. This is about what have I done well? What's gone well? What am I happy with? What didn't go so well? And then I sort of have a bit of a think about what are the reasons that the outcome that occurred. So if it went well, why did it go well? Was it good planning? Was it the right people in the job? If it didn't go well, what do I need to pick up on? How did I contribute to that outcome? While I do have to schedule this in my calendar as a reoccurring appointment, I know that it definitely has made me a better leader. It means that I'm actually taking the time to think about my actions. But even better, when things are going well, I know why they're going well so that I can do them again, which is great. That's improvement, that's growing. But also it helps me know where do I need to focus my time? What am I doing that I'm perhaps not that happy about that I need to work on for myself? This all helps me keep honest in my leadership and keep an eye on some of my blind spots. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Nikki. I've been in leadership for over 18 years and have gone from leading just 2 people to leading leaders of large teams. And if you are enjoying this video, could you please like and subscribe, as then I know what content is working for you. Habit number 3 is about proactive encouragement. This habit is all about your team, which, if you're in leadership, should probably be quite front of mind anyway. I do this a number of ways. The first one is effective delegation, trusting my team with responsibilities and autonomy to follow through on things themselves, as well as considering their own development goals and what they enjoy doing to try and align the delegation with their preferences. I have done a video linked on your screen about how to delegate effectively, and this is not about palming off tasks that you should be doing yourself either. So check out the video if you want more information. Empowerment is also about providing your team with the support and the resources to be able to do a great job, as well as mentoring and supporting them to do so. I ensure that I meet with my individual team members on a regular schedule so that I'm across not only their work and their projects, but also how they're tracking themselves, which could be about their development goals, their long-term goals, and what they are enjoying about the job and how we can maneuver what they're doing so that they get more of what they like. Because I find that people tend to do a lot better if they're enjoying what they're doing than they do if they're forcing it because they can do it but they don't really like it. Checking in regularly with each team member is a really powerful element of leadership. It helps with your engagement with your team, your connection to your team. It builds trust, it builds rapport, and to me, it is a key component of being a good leader. I have also done a video about leadership coaching, which is linked on your screen too. Lastly, I ensure that I also include a celebration of achievements as part of my empowerment toolkit for my team. This is about making a point of actually celebrating the wins. Doesn't have to be a big celebration. It can just be an acknowledgement that people are doing a good job and they're achieving the goals that you need them to. So often I'll have this scheduled as maybe fortnightly, a bit of a catch up and a run through what we've done really well as a team, any individual contributions that need to be shouted out, and just keeping on top of how things are tracking so that people know that what they're doing is noticed. This proactive empowerment, which is made up of delegation, coaching, and celebrating with my team is all part of my leadership habits. It's how I support my team in a regular rhythm so that all of this is on a schedule so that I can create an environment of collaboration and engagement with my team. Now, these 3 habits of intentional listening, consistent self-reflection, and empowerment aren't quick fixes. These things actually took years to formulate in terms of how I do it and show up every day in my leadership. I don't always get it right, and I have to make sure that for each of these I'm actually intentional. It's not a tick box exercise, but largely at this point these habits are ingrained and are part of my normal rhythm. I don't have to think too hard about each one of them to do my job each day, but they are things that I know have made a really big impact on my leadership. So start small. Pick one habit that you know that you can follow through on each day and try and make it part of your daily practice. I would also suggest that you track progress. So if you chose intentional listening, you actually have a reflection each day and think about, how did that work for me? How am I applying it? So that you have a way of really being able to recognise the impact that these are having on your leadership. I would love to hear in the comments which one you're going to focus on in terms of picking up a habit in your leadership. And thanks very much for watching.